Hello, this will be my first cube review on my new channel. Today I'm going to be looking at the Mgc V2 Square-1 that just came out like a few weeks ago, and I'll be also comparing it to some other popular Square ones on the market like the old Mgc V1, the Using Little Magic, and also the X-Men Vault V2. All of these are magnetic, but they are also very old. These two came out in 2019 and the Mgc came out in early 2021, so I expect big improvements for the Mgc V2. And in this video I'll also tell you why I think this might be one of the most disappointing cubes of 2025, and of course we'll also compare it to all of the other cubes. So the unboxing is like this. It's a really cool looking box. You get this card, accessory box and the cube. But first big negative, there are no black caps. They included this on a 4.5-year-old Mgc V1, their last cube. They included black caps to swap out. I personally didn't care too much about my cube being black or yellow on the top, but for many top solvers that are really fast, this is very important because they can recognize OBL cases a lot quicker when they have a black face on top instead of yellow. You just don't have the option with this cube, and because this is the first new Square one in 4.5 years, we definitely expected that, and it's not included. That is definitely a big negative. Also, it's very heavy. These two are like between 75 and 80 grams, I believe. This one is also very heavy, the Mgc V1. It's 83, 84, and this one is even heavier. It's 89 grams, and this is also, I think this is too heavy for a speed cube, honestly. It's too heavy in my opinion. Another big negative, the quality control is really bad. My cube arrived broken, more or less broken out of the box, because this corner and this edge, they were glued together by the factory, out of the factory, when I unboxed this cube, which is very disappointing. And I actually contacted the Cuball staff, it's where I bought this cube, amazing shop, you should absolutely shop there if you're in Europe. I contacted them and they said that I should just force through because there apparently some loop came between these two pieces out of the factory, and they said that they would send me another new Square one if I break it when I force the pieces too hard, that they would separate and the loop would so that I could actually use the cube, because it was unusable. I couldn't turn a slice at all because those pieces were glued together, and that was by the factory. It came out of the factory like this, and I think YJ's quality control should be a lot better than this. This is very disappointing because they've released some amazing cubes this year, but this is just very disappointing. Yeah, performance is solid, but it's not what I expected from the first Square one in 4.5 years, in my opinion. It's not that much better than the old Mgc, if it is even better, and honestly, it's not even that different. I think it's a very similar cube. In fact, I loosened this one by a decent amount so I could get some pieces out. For the old Mgc, this is the edge. And if I get it out, there you go. This is the edge on the new Mgc, and honestly, the piece design is very similar. Except for this magnet capsule, of course. There weren't any magnets in the edges on the old Mgc, but you can piece swap Mgc V1 edge into Mgc V2 cube, Mgc V2 edge into Mgc V1 cube. Works perfectly fine. That is very disappointing because I expected big design improvements after 4.5 years, and I don't think it's come there. And also, I believe everything they changed from the V1 to the V2 is not an advantage. They removed the option to have a black face on top. They UV coated this cube, which will be an advantage for many people because I know most people love UV coating. I personally hate it. I can't stand it at all. And I think it's just a very, very bad new tech, this UV coating. I can't stand it at all. I think it makes it too slippery when competing in it with the cube. And also, it's heavier, which is in my opinion another disadvantage, because this one was already somewhat heavy. And also, these magnet capsules, they are new. There are 2 new magnets in every edge and 2 new magnets in every corner. But look at this. This one is repelling this one. So mid-turn, you feel that the whole cube is repelling itself. This is kind of similar maybe to the repelling edge magnets on 3x3, but this is just very disappointing, because I think it makes the slice turn less smooth, and also it clicks into place even harder when finishing off the slice turn. And I think the slice magnets on the Mgc V1 were strong enough. I think they were the perfect magnet strength. And on the V2 it's just too strong in my opinion, which also causes like some locking and just makes the cube worse in my opinion, which is absolutely not good. So yeah, I talked a lot about negative aspects of the cube, but how does it actually perform? I think it performs decently, maybe a little bit better than the V1 for some people. For me, not. I actually prefer the V1 still. Of course, this is also, I've had this for a few days now. This has got some setup, some lube. I loosened it a bit, and yeah, it came really tight out of the box. This is loosened, and this is still pretty tight. But I think the cube is maybe a small improvement over the V1, but it has come from performance. It's maybe a small improvement, but it has got some massive disadvantages in my opinion. So I really honestly still recommend the V1 over this one, because it's $6 cheaper. You get the option for blackface. You do not get UV coating. The only reason why I would recommend the V2 is if you want UV coating for Square-1 really, really bad. If you can't solve without UV coating on a Square-1, get this one. It's not significantly worse than the V1 from performance, but I expected a big jump in Square-1 technology and performance after 4.5 years, and I don't think they've hit it. I don't think it's a big improvement over the V1, which is disappointing. I don't say it's a bad cube, I just say that it is disappointing. Now, let's compare it to the other Square-1s on the market. The X-Men Vault is quite an old cube. It's got a little bit more glossy plastic than the Mgc V1. It's like semi-gloss plastic. Printed logo, which is also in my opinion an advantage. It performs pretty well, but you need a lot of break-in and setup. If you don't do that, it will just be bad in my opinion. And it's also like you struggle to find this still. Like you can buy it on Master Cube Store, for example, still for like 20 euros. But it's not a big advantage to buy this over an Mgc V1, because I think the Mgc V1 is just better. The Use a Little Magic is a very interesting cube. This has got glossy plastic. It's the only Square-1 on the market that has got full glossy plastic. I think the slice magnet and overall the slice just feels very, very smooth and very good, because I think the slice magnet is probably a perfect strength. The piece magnets are just way too weak. The cube is blocky and doesn't corner cut well, so it's not the best Square-1, definitely. But maybe for as a budget Square-1, it's still the best one, because it's just like 10 euros. I think it's a solid Square-1 for the price. This one is, I think, considering how old it is still okay, but you really should go with the Mgc, because it's like the same price and it's just better. So for a budget Square-1, I definitely recommend the Use a Little Magic. And honestly, for a flagship Square-1, still haven't got the GAN out yet. I hope it comes pretty soon, but I think the best Square-1 is still the Mgc V1 from 2021. And I don't think this is much worse. From performance, it's maybe not worse at all, but it's just not better, in my opinion. So I do not like it too much. I'm actually pretty disappointed because also I had a very bad experience with the cube right out of the box because I just couldn't use it. It wasn't turning, and that's a bad quality control. If they even have quality control at YJ, I don't know. I mean, it's got a very nice box, so if how the box looks is very important for you for Speed Cube, get the V2, I guess, but it's not a great cube in my opinion. It isn't the big hardware jump that I wanted after 4.5 years, and it's just okay. It's not bad, but it's also not amazing. So now I will do a quick solve on this one. I'm not super quick at Square-1. I average like around 40 seconds, 35 to 40 seconds maybe. Okay. Yeah, that was a lockup. Also, the UV coating is already slippery, so really annoying for me. Okay, that was bad. Let's do another one. Yeah, that was pretty good, but still the cube is like, I might even consider this main at home, but I will just never be able to use it at competition because of the UV coating. I knew the cube had UV coating, but I still thought that the performance would be just so much better than that it would be still worth it for me. But I'm just a bit disappointed by this cube. It's not bad or anything, but it's just not as good as I hoped and expected it to be. So, if you found this video helpful, entertaining, useful, please consider liking, subscribing to my channel, and comment what you think of this cube if you have it already. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.